As Aaron Dorr here with Georgia Gun Owners with a kind of a big 30,000 foot view overview on where we are in Georgia in the fight for the Second Amendment. You know, there's a lot of things going on, and suspiciously, very few of them are happening in Georgia. Very few of them are happening in our pro-gun legislature, which of course is adjourned for the year. So we're going to talk about kind of where we are right now and looking ahead to next session, looking ahead to the elections in 2022, what we can do as gun owners to make sure that our gun rights are being protected and expanded here in Georgia. So come on in, guys. Get in this broadcast. Let me know in the comment section where you're watching from. Just to be very blunt with you, your comments help the video be seen by more gun owners. So when you guys tell us where you're watching from or give us any feedback in the comment section, that helps more of your friends and more GGO members on Facebook see our broadcast. So as always, tell us where you are watching from. Appreciate that very much. And, you know, I just want to kind of, again, paint the picture of where we are at right now because, you know, this has been an amazing year in the fight for gun rights. I first met Patrick Parsons, GGO's former director, way back in 2009. We were both involved in conservative politics and have both been involved in the fight for gun rights at the state level for a decade or more since that time. And this year alone, 2021, we have seen more expansion of our two-way freedom than I have seen perhaps in the last 4, 5, 6 years combined. It has been an explosion of Second Amendment freedom across America, but not here. And that's what we're going to talk about. Constitutional carry has been a foundational issue for GGO since we were founded back in 2010. As you guys know, this year, when this year began, 16 states had constitutional carry law on the books. But this year has seen an explosion. We had Utah pass constitutional carry. You've got Montana. You've got Iowa, my home state, in a bill we were heavily involved with. You've got Tennessee, nearby Tennessee. You have 4 states in 1 year that have passed constitutional carry law. You've got states that are working on, and not to mention, it's still in various phases in Texas. The way it sounds, it may die in Texas, but it received votes for the first time in South Carolina. It passed in Louisiana in the House and Senate. It was vetoed by their anti-gun governor, I believe, not 100% sure. They're still waiting for an override session, and they may override the governor's veto in Louisiana. So we may see 5 or even 6 states this year, depending upon Texas and Louisiana, move constitutional carry. But nothing is moving on constitutional carry in Georgia because of 2 people. Well, 3 people, if you want to include the Senate chamber, but 2 people primarily. Brian Kemp, who has absolutely refused to prioritize this issue, and corrupt Speaker David Ralston, who has repeatedly attacked the bill, sandbagged the bill, and attacked anybody who tried to file the bill. Now, we have talked a lot about corrupt David Ralston, what a worthless human being he is, what a corrupt speaker he is. Just Google his stuff if you guys want to see more about that. Let me kill my ringer here on my phone. This guy is a freight train for disaster and a freight train for corruption. But here's the deal. At the end of the day, this guy answers to the governor. This guy answers to Brian Kemp. And Brian Kemp has done nothing to advance constitutional carry. But it's not just constitutional carry. The Second Amendment Preservation Act, as you guys know, we call it SAPA, lots of names for it. Second Amendment Preservation Act is exploding across the country as well. One of our sister organizations, the Missouri Firearms Coalition, just Friday passed constitutional carry through the legislature in Missouri, the last day of session. And it's basically the same bill draft. In fact, we at Georgia Gun Owners got our bill draft from what was happening in Missouri. It's the same thing. And the beauty about this version of SAPA is that if And just to be clear on what SAPA means, it basically states that Georgia deputies, Georgia troopers, and Georgia city cops can only enforce Georgia gun laws. That's it. So federal gun control is null and void here in Georgia because local municipalities, local sheriff's deputies, local troopers will not be able to enforce it. And so Biden can pass all the heck he wants. It won't matter here in Georgia. And that just passed in Missouri on Friday. The governor is widely expected to sign that bill into law. SAPA, or versions of it, not as strong, but versions of SAPA have passed this year in Arizona. Multiple versions of this have passed this year in Arkansas. I know Nebraska has taken a different tact, not one we'd agree with at a tactical level, but the governor there loudly declared a sanctuary status in Nebraska for gun owners. That doesn't have the protections that the bill I just described has, but it sends the message. It sends a message. And that's what we're seeing all across the country. Red states, red America is running to pass constitutional carry. Pro-gun statesmen in many states are rushing to pass the Second Amendment Preservation Act. And that's just the two big ones. Just the two big ones. You've got states that are expanding constitutional carry to include all law-abiding citizens, like they did in Wyoming. You've got Kansas, where they lowered the age on when you can carry a handgun to 18. You've got all kinds of gun bills moving in red America all across the country. And yet, here in Georgia, we have nothing to show from our pro-gun legislature in the 2021 session. The biggest thing that we had this year was an attempt from some weak-kneed Republicans to maybe aid the Democrats in trying to possibly repeal our Stand Your Ground law. And as you guys know, we fought that tooth and nail and shut that down, and the Republicans who were flirting with that immediately backtracked and said we were liars, all that crap. That's fine. But that's where the fight is here in Georgia. We're just happy if the Republicans don't stab us in the face. We expect them to stab us in the back. The question is, will they stab us right here in the chest? We're a long ways away from seeing constitutional carry and SAPA law move, and that's the real problem. Now, the real issue here then, the way that changes is if a governor does his job and shows leadership and tells the legislature, we're going to prioritize this year. That's how easy this is. It's not that hard. We had constitutional carry filed. We had SAPA filed. Let's see, House File 597. I'm not recalling the name of constitutional carry, the number, but it was House File 597 was SAPA, and we had SAPA and constitutional, both of them filed, and we get exactly nothing from this governor who said he supported constitutional carry. Heck, he signed our survey, 100% pro-gun when he ran last time. But see, I think what's going on is that Brian thinks that we, the members of Georgia gun owners, are every bit as stupid or every bit as moderate as the NRA lackeys that he is used to dealing with. And so he thinks that, oh, those GGO guys, they're just going to give me a pass. They're not going to hold me accountable. They're not going to come after me if I betray them. They're not going to attack me. They're not going to actually hold me accountable online and tell the whole state that I'm a backstabber who has not defended their gun rights. No, they're going to get in line and play nice like all the rest of the gun rights, like Georgia Carey, those old prune juice drinking guys, these three people, they never say anything bad about me. The NRA never says anything bad about me. Sorry, Brian, you're not dealing with a bunch of prune juice drinking old guys here with Georgia Carey who raise $20 a year, and you're not dealing with $200,000 suit wearing Wayne Pippi LaPoo LaPierre here either. We expect you to do the job that you promised you would do. We expect you to do the job that you were hired to do. And it would be a real big mistake for you to presume upon the members of GGO in 2022 if you don't deliver the goods. And folks, that's what he's thinking. And I don't have to. You don't have to take my word for it. You don't have to believe a word I say. Just look at his Facebook page. What was it? 3 nights ago? 4 nights ago? I'm not even sure. 3 or 4 nights ago, he's got Wayne, $200,000 suit, Pippi LaPoo LaPierre, here in Georgia, sitting down with him at a fundraiser, getting the old selfie, getting that phone out there, getting the wife in his arm, and getting that phone there and posing for that selfie with Wayne. Because he thinks that Wayne LaPierre can prop him up. He thinks that Wayne LaPierre is a sign that he, Brian Kemp, is a player in the gun rights community. I'll tell you who's a player in the gun rights community. Pro-gun governors that go out of their way to make stuff happen. And we have seen that this year in Red America all across the country. We've seen pro-gun statesmen, legislators, and governors rise up and make stuff happen because they know that with Joe Biden in the White House, now is the time to be courageous. Now is the time to lead. Now is the time to fight for your constituents and to fight for gun owners. But we're seeing almost none of that here. We're seeing a bunch of presumptuous, arrogant liars who spend most of their time at Buckhead fundraisers and then do an occasional TV ad holding the shotgun, really original, Brian, trying to convince all of us how pro-gun they are. And then when that doesn't work, he says, I'm going to bring in Wayne. Yeah. Just shows how totally out of touch you are, Brian, with gun owners, how totally out of touch you are, Brian, with Georgians, and how totally out of touch you are with where we are in 2021. This is a fight for survival. Joe Biden and the socialist left, do you think that Stacey Abrams is going to act so pathetically soft if she gets your job? These people, when they get power, go 100 miles an hour to take away our rights, to take away our freedom. But we've got Bumble and Brian in the Capitol, in the governor's mansion, and we're sitting here for years, and we're seeing almost nothing happen. Sure, he kowtows to the Hollywood elites who want to shoot their movies here in Georgia. He kowtows to all the woke leftists with all of his criminal reform justice bills. But he's not fighting for gun owners. He's not fighting for pro-lifers. He's not fighting for all of the regular rank-and-file Georgians who got him past his primary with creepy Casey Cagle. He's not fighting for us. And Brian, I'm just here to tell you, man, you're going to pay the price for that, man. If you're not going to defend us, if you're not going to fight for gun owners, it's going to come back and bite you. I don't know. Getting a lot of questions about Vernon. We're getting a lot of questions about Marjorie. We're getting a lot of questions about conservative firebrands who like to fight. A lot of people asking us what we think GGO members would do in a primary when you compare some of those names. Now, we're a C4, so we can't tell folks who to vote for, can't tell folks we can't endorse anybody. But Brian, we can darn sure tell the whole world that you have done nothing for gun owners. That's why you won your primary, because we tell everybody what Casey Cagle did for gun owners. What about you? So let's just be clear also on what we're talking about. We're not looking to see some chicken scratch bull crap gun bill next session that takes away one gun-free zone. We're not looking to see a decrease in the cost of the permit application for a shall issue Georgia weapons permit. We're not looking for some kind of little chunk of freedom. We better see action on constitutional carry and the Second Amendment Preservation Act, because at this point, nothing else, man, counts. Nothing else counts. You've got governors all across America this year who were rushing to the right to move constitutional carry. For heaven's sakes, the governor in Montana all but introduced the bill himself to make it happen. Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds, I mean, she was crawling over broken glass to sign constitutional carry because she wanted to show people that she was on the right after the lockdown policies from last session. You've got Governor Mike Parson right now in Missouri, who, from all we understand, is eager to sign SAPA legislation into law. You've got pro-gun statesmen all across the country in the legislative level who are fighting to be first in line to sponsor pro-gun bills. We got good guys like Philip Singleton, who is fighting for gun bills in Atlanta, and all your caucus does is mock and belittle and harass pro-gun lawmakers like Rep. Singleton and the gun owners who put you in power in the first place. And man, that's a recipe for a disaster. And so, guys, if this makes you angry, if this makes your blood boil, take a moment and sign your petitions in support of both of these bills, constitutional carry and SAPA, so that your lawmakers, the politicians, many of them are just scumbag weasels. I'm just going to say it. That these guys know where you stand and what you expect them to do for you. Take a moment, sign that petition. One gives your support for, in fact, I'm not even sure it's in the comment section. I'm going to do this right now. I'm going to put this in the comments as we speak. One of them announces your support for constitutional carry. The other is demanding action on the Second Amendment Preservation Act. And I just put this in the comment section. There we go. And I'm going to pin this right now in the comment section right there. And take a moment and make sure that your state rep, your state senator knows what you expect of him or her next session. And make sure you contact Governor Kemp as well and just tell him, this is very simple. You know what? NRA is not going to save you. These Hollywood elites are not going to save you. If you want the support of gun owners, rather, here in Georgia, you're going to have to earn that. And so far, you've done nothing. 3 years, nothing from you, Brian. And there's a lot of people who are starting to wonder who they're going to look at as the pro-gun champion in 2022. And we will be very honest with people about where you stand and where you have stood. You've got one session left to make this go right. Or you could have a real pair and you could call a special session and get this stuff done now, before Joe Biden does even more damage to our gun rights. A lot of guys asking about Vernon Jones. A lot of people asking about that. We will be doing candidate surveys on that very, very soon. And well, no, we're going to do it when the time is right. We're going to do a very thorough candidate survey program like we have always done. And we're going to tell you guys exactly where Vernon stands, exactly what Brian says he will do, exactly what any of the other contenders in this race say they will do. Because, you know, we don't have much time left. For God's sakes, we've got two rank socialist communists, for heaven's sakes, that are the senators from Georgia. How much longer do we have? How much longer do we have to make this happen? 2022 may very likely be our last legislative session where we are confident that we're going to have the votes to get this done and a governor who is nominally pro-gun. We're going to have to wait and see. We're going to have to wait and see. Linda says, I am sorely disappointed in Brian Kemp. The only reason I voted for him is because Stacey Abrams would have been our worst nightmare. Yeah, Brian, how many people can you afford? How many Lindas can you afford to piss off before you got a real problem next year? It's a good question to ask. Good question to ask. Amy says, I'm watching from Indiana. Amy, good to see you on here. We know that Indiana had a very close shot on constitutional carry as well this year, but it did not get past your Senate, I believe. It passed your House, I believe. Thank God you've got rid of Speaker Bosma. If we could get rid of Speaker Ralston the way Indiana got rid of Speaker Bosma, we'd be in a heck of a lot better position. So hopefully you guys can make some major advancements, Amy, in Indiana in this fight for freedom as well. This is where we're at in red. We're very quickly approaching this like two America concept, and some people are terrified or angry or sad about that. But what I see happening all across red America right now is an incredible explosion in freedom. We're seeing gun bills, again, not here in Georgia, move at an incredible pace. We're seeing pro-life bills move at an incredible pace. We're seeing bills to limit the power of big tech over our lives moving at an incredible pace. We're seeing bills to stop the corruption and the perversion that we see in our schools, where they try to twist our own children's minds against us and against our founding fathers, against the history of this great country. We're seeing this stuff struck down. We're seeing all of this filth being identified and eliminated in red America. And so if you're in a red America state, if you're in a place like Georgia, there's a lot of disappointment. We have a very impotent governor and a very impotent legislature. But in much of red America, you are seeing a massive explosion in freedom. And if that's in blue America, you're seeing the exact opposite. You're seeing the destruction of economies, the destruction of families, inheritances. You're seeing the destruction of freedom. You're seeing lockdown policies that are still in effect in freaking May of 2021. You're seeing gun control on the rise. And if this is where America is. And so we are in a position as Americans where if you're in a red state, you're looking to see major moves for freedom, because what's happening in blue America. And we don't want that crap here. And that's the problem that Brian Kemp, that's the grenade that Brian Kemp is sitting on right now, because Georgians yearn for freedom. Georgians want freedom. Georgians demand freedom. And most of what we have is a bunch of woke, white, liberal leftists in the Capitol who are trying to attack us because we love freedom. And I don't know about you, but I'm sick of that. Freedom doesn't cater to color. Freedom doesn't cater to race. It doesn't cater to sex. All Americans deep down have a desire for freedom. And in red America, we're seeing it explode. And in blue America right now, we're seeing the opposite. And we have a little window of time here to secure more of these freedoms in Georgia. The question is, will our legislature and will Bumble and Brian do the job they were elected to do and fix this? That's up to them. But what's up to us is how we interact with these people afterwards. And we will certainly have a reaction to all of this. We'll wait and see what happens in the 2022 session. We're going to build up a major groundswell of support for these two primary bills between now and then. And we'll keep you guys informed as always. Take a moment, sign your petitions right there above this video, one for SAPA, one for constitutional carry, and then become a member of Georgia Gun Owners. Get involved. Join GGO.com. Join GGO.com. There's a link above there. You can get involved right there. Now is the time. This fight is raging. We need everybody to get involved. Take action. Share this video. We'll keep you guys informed. God bless you all.